Hello my dear business stars, this is your business coach with a brand new video on O-Levels Business Studies question paper solving series on code 7115 variant 22, which is paper 2, October-November 2020. So let's get started. So business stars, before starting the question paper solving session, you obviously have to read the case study in paper 2, right? So it's a big case study that's given in. You have to read the whole case study and you have to figure out the applications from the case study. Okay, so this is the first page of the case study, which is cell covers. Moving on to the next one, which is the appendix 1, and then moving on to the next one, which is the appendix 2. Over here, the advertisement for CC standardized mobile phone covers. You have to read all these appendix, and there's the last appendix, which is appendix 3. Here there are certain financial information that is given. You have to use them when you will be answering from the questions. So let's move on to the main part of the question paper. So business stars, let me give you a review on how paper 2 works. There are basically 4 questions in paper 2, and in every single question there is, let's say, question number 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B, 3A, 3B, 4A, 4B. Okay, all the A's consist of 8 marks, all the B's consist of 12 marks. Total duration is basically 1 hour 30 minutes and total mark is 80 marks. So business stars, starting with the first question, which is question number 1A. It's an 8-mark question. Remember, in an 8-mark question, you need to divide the answer into 2 parts. And for each part, you'll be receiving 4 marks. Okay? So you see 1 mark, 2 mark, 3 mark and 4 mark. Again in reason 2, 1 mark, 2 mark, 3 mark and 4 mark. So let's start the question. Explain 2 reasons why finance is needed by CC. Okay, the first reason is for the expansion of existing business. This is the knowledge part. The explanation says to expand the existing business, CC has to buy equipment and machinery. This is analysis number 1. For this, a high amount of finance will be needed to produce mobile phone covers. You will find this application inside the case study. So I've written over here APP, which means application. This investment may not be completely covered by owner's capital. This is the last analysis. The second reason says CC needed money when it started up. This is the first knowledge. Let's look at the explanation. Each partner invested $10,000. This is the application taken from the case study. This finance is paid for training new employees so that they are effective at work, for the first analysis, and for equipment to help the workers become efficient. This is the second analysis. So question number 1A is done. Let's move on to question number 1B. So business stars, moving on to question number 1B, which is explain the benefits and limitations of the following 2 ways of achieving quality production. What are the 2 ways? This one, quality control and quality assurance. So which way should CC use? Justify your answer. It's a 12-mark question. Okay. So over here, I'll be talking about the advantages and disadvantages of quality control. In the next slide, I'll be talking about quality assurance. So let's get started. In quality control, products are checked at the end of the production line and tries to eliminate faults and errors before the customer receives the mobile phone cover. This is the first analysis. Okay. Also, there's one thing you need to know, that this color phone cover, or over here 10 workers, I have changed the color and the font size. Over here I have underlined the words because these are also the application that you need to use in paper 2, question number 1B. So less training is required for the 10 workers as inspectors check the quality of the covers before they leave the factory. These were the 2 advantages. Okay, let's talk about the disadvantage. Here are 2 disadvantages. Okay, so the first disadvantage is, however, it raises cost and inspectors need to be employed. Second disadvantage is identifies faulty products at the end of the process but does not identify where the faults has occurred. This is the second disadvantage. Okay, so we are done with the first part, which is quality control. Let's move on to quality assurance. Business stars, moving on to the second part, which is quality assurance. Products are checked at every stage of the production process to try to eliminate faults or errors at each stage of production before passing to the next stage, reducing faults at the end. This is the first analysis and also known as the first advantage. Moving on to the second advantage, therefore, there are fewer customer complaints of the faulty phone covers. Okay, this is the second advantage. And this yellow font is basically the application, which is phone covers. Moving on to the disadvantage, however, it can be very expensive to train employees to check the quality of their own work. Okay, the second disadvantage is the reliability of employees is important and they need to be committed or quality assurance will not be effective. This is the second disadvantage. So let's move on to the last part of the answer. So the last part of the answer is the recommendation. Okay, so here you have to recommend which one do you want to choose or which one do you want to go with. So the recommendation part, If the process to produce a mobile phone cover is simple, the mobile phone cover is the application part, okay? Then quality control may be most suitable, as inspectors may just carry out a simple check at the end of the production line, and the 10 production workers do not need to be trained to check their own work, reducing training cost, which they would have to do if quality assurance was used. Okay, so this is it. For business, commerce and economics tuitions, you can connect with Muhammad Ishtiaq bin Zaman sir at 01685 221141 or email us at thebusinesssstarbd@gmail.com.